One day of the World Series. We are here. This is it. We made it. Welcome in.
The World Series.
It's crazy. And
Holy
this is
shit.
the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast presented by Desert Financial Credit Union. Find exceptional service and financial solutions at desertfinancial.com. We are here. It is time. Let's go. It is time for the Arizona Diamondbacks to take on the Texas Rangers in Game 1 of the World Series. And the first thing we want to start off with, if you think that this is going to be a boring series, if you think these two teams being here is going to somehow make the ratings for MLB's postseason plummet, then you don't know baseball. You hate baseball,
Suck
maybe.
it.
You also hate fun, potentially. But I know you have some thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I am obviously chronically online to the point where it's kind of concerning. And all I've seen all week is anyone that's not a Rangers or a D-backs fan saying, this series sucks. Why do I have to watch this? Because it's not my team.
You know what
Shut
sucks?
up.
You know what sucks? Watching the Houston Astros and the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series every single year.
This is the first World Series in 8 years. We haven't had to suffer through watching either the Dodgers or the Astros play, and I am freaking pumped. This is the year of the underdog.
That's it. It's not only that, but it's the year of the young guys doing it, right?
Yeah.
And what more would you want besides a battle between Creed and Sexy Red here for anthems between these two? Ski, by the way, to you all. Ski, Max, Ski, Patrick. Of course, I am, by the way, your mayor of the PHNX podcast here, mayor of everything, mayor of the World Series, Derek Montilla. This is, of course, social media goddess, the one and only Makayla Perkins, and we are joined by the very, very talented, very hot tag, DNVR's very own
Fresh off
Patrick
the plane.
Lyons. Fresh off the plane, Patty Plantain. What's happening? I'm so happy to have you here because I know we have a lot to talk about. But what are your thoughts as an innocent bystander on the excitement level of the Rangers versus the Diamondbacks?
It's the World Series. That's the only thing. That's what it's billed as.
That's it.
Is the 119th World Series. It doesn't matter who's playing. It shouldn't matter who's playing. This is for all the marbles. Yeah. This is history. Whoever wins this, look, they're going to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York forever. And their images, and you're going to have the Commissioner's Trophy in your ballpark forever.
Keep it going, Patrick.
This is what it's all about. Yeah. Deserving or not to get into the postseason. Once your ticket has been punched, you deserve to be there. And these are the two best teams that ran through the postseason. Sure, we're talking 114 wins combined, fewest ever by two teams in the World Series.
Yeah.
But they are the two best teams from their division with this playoff system, playoff format. It's the World Series. Watch. Don't be stupid. Watch.
We play for rings, not ratings.
That's right. We do play for rings in the desert. That's true. And speaking of that history, obviously the Diamondbacks know from that magical 2001 season about winning and having, holding on to that championship and being a part of that impressive lineage of championship teams in Major League Baseball. But and we've talked about this a little bit with Espo on Wednesday, but there are a lot of eerie similarities between this year and the 2001 season where the Diamondbacks won. And the similarities they're only increasing, right?
True.
Now the Rangers are announcing that George W. Bush is throwing out the first pitch tonight. That's the same thing that happened in 2001.
Yep.
Obviously,
2001.
we've talked a bit about the dates lining up exactly.
Exact same dates.
The All-Star game being in Seattle. The same year as, obviously it was in Seattle
this year. A bird was murdered by a pitch this year.
It was the ace, too.
And
That's
also
You guys, I literally have chills. Like, I am such a superstitious person. I'm not even a little stitious. I'm superstitious.
She's superstitious.
Like, I have chills. Like, this is a team of destiny. I'm not trying to jinx anything, but I swear to God, the similarities freak me out. Like, it is uncanny.
Yeah. And
it feels like it's our year.
And again, there's got to be a lot of factors for it to work out this way, especially considering that the entire postseason format changed. Right. And it required baseball to have actually had to take time off and start the postseason late in 2001 for these dates to match up like they are. But here we are where the Diamondbacks could potentially do it. And of course, there's that talk about it being boring is incredibly off base to me. But I do know the two of you are very into this World Series. I know you got some facts. I think it's time for a little bit of a fact off.
Between the two, I already know I'm going to lose.
All right.
Look, we're
I know she's bubbling with facts.
Well, I got some fun facts.
What do you got? Give me some fun facts.
Did you know that the first ever game Torey Lovullo managed, opening day 2017, against none other than the Bruce Bochy?
Yep.
It was a win. Yep. It was a walk-off win against Mark Melanson.
Not on the Diamondbacks, on the Giants at the time.
Yep, that makes
sense. He's a Diamondback.
But Torey Lovullo's first game, he
what
won
do you got?
against Bochy.
You got something for me?
And Mark Melanson from Colorado, where we both kind of are from.
I don't claim him. I don't claim Mark Melanson.
How about this interesting juxtaposition? The Texas Rangers are the oldest franchise in MLB right now without a World Series. 1961 when they were the Washington Senators. So they don't have one. They're the longest. And yet the youngest team, at least tied, are the Arizona Diamondbacks. And they do have one.
That's crazy.
How about that?
It's wild. I mean, there's just so much going on in this. And I know we're going to get to Bruce Bochy and Torey Lovullo comparisons here in a little bit.
You know what else is crazy, though? Real quick.
What else you got?
Brandon Pfaadt. He debuted this year.
He did.
He debuted against the Rangers.
The Texas Rangers.
Yep. You want to know the last time a pitcher debuted in a season and then played them in the World Series?
Well, it had to have been during interleague play, unless not. So I would think there's it's happened 3 or 4 other times.
Never happened.
Well, I mean,
ever?
Never. It would make sense, right?
In the same season, a pitcher debuting and then playing that exact same team in the World Series.
And I mean, Brandon Pfaadt is a savage, as Damon would quickly attest to, because I know our producer Damon would tell you that.
With more than just the 2 A's, but 2 A's back to back.
Yeah, savage as well. Savage. Yeah, it's weird, but it's savage. So, but I mean, how often do you actually make it that far with a rookie as part of your starting rotation and having that rookie playing meaningful baseball games in the postseason the way that Brandon Pfaadt has been doing? And honestly, I was talking about it today with a couple of guys, but I've had a lot of people question why Torey Lovullo is going to bullpen games and stuff. There seems to be a lot of thought that it's some sort of chess match or something. And really it's just much like Brandon Pfaadt, having to pitch here. It's just about availability. It's about arms. It's about, they don't really have the full starting rotation, and somehow this has worked out well for them. Brandon Pfaadt has worked out well, but the one guy that they need, Zac Gallen. We need you, Zac Gallen. You're maybe our only hope, because, of course, we cannot have performances from Zac Gallen like we had in the NLCS and really expect to beat this Rangers team. And I don't think we will. I do feel like maybe Zac has evolved a little bit here from the playoffs, and honestly, he has done good. He has done well in the playoffs outside of that series against Phillies. It just felt like the Phillies really had his number.
Yeah, he has a 3.57 ERA career against the Rangers, a little bit higher than Eovaldi's career ERA against the Diamondbacks, which is a 2.78. So kind of an even matchup here a little bit, but like you mentioned, Zac Gallen has struggled 2 losses in his last starts, obviously coming against the Phillies, which isn't great. He also only recorded a single strikeout in his last start.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Yeah, that was surprising. That's definitely what's surprising. And I mean, I feel like he's having problems locating, because obviously, a lot of those home runs hit were balls that were just thrown right down the middle.
Center cut.
Yeah, right down the middle.
Well, the game plan that, Matt Gelb wrote about this in The Athletic, that, the game plan was recognizing that the Phillies, I think, in the final couple weeks going into the postseason, they were chasing a lot of balls out of the zone. So that was kind of the game plan. Yeah. And yet, Merrill Kelly and Zac Gallen were throwing it right down the center of the plate, center cut fastballs, and Phillies obviously took advantage of it as one of the best home run hitting teams, this postseason. And so once they got away from that and actually were able to stick to the game plan, they won 4 of 5. And so despite the fact that Bruce Bochy has 3 World Series rings, he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, over 2,000 wins during his time as a big league skipper, and come back here in his first year taking a team that was really bad last year too. I think the Rangers still lost by close to 90 games last year, and yet takes them to the World Series. Torey's got his hands full here, but it's gonna be another chess match.
Yeah,
it really is.
And these two guys, of course, have both been very good for both teams this year. Zac Gallen and Nathan Eovaldi. Here are their season stats and how they stack up in comparison to each other. And of course, it really doesn't matter. Regular season stats be damned, because none of that matters now at this point. Like you said, even Zac Gallen's last 2 starts don't really matter. This is a clean slate now, and hopefully Gallen can go out there and bounce back answer back, if you will, like our man Jay said in the chat, from those bad starts. 17-9 win and loss record for Gallen. Nathan Eovaldi, who was just absolutely incredible for the Rangers this year, unexpectedly, right? Like, no point did you think adding Eovaldi to the starting pitching rotation was going to be the thing that unlocked the Rangers' full potential like it did, but he has been tremendous for the Rangers this year. So this is no easy task for the Diamondbacks offense tonight. But Gallen with the 3.47 ERA for the regular season, Eovaldi 3.63, 1.2.1 whip for Gallen, 1.14 for Eovaldi, and then 220 strikeouts for Gallen. Meanwhile, 132 for Eovaldi, not as big of a strikeout pitcher, but absolutely effective in his time there with the Rangers. So there is one thing that Mac brought up to me before the show, and just if you guys think factor is going to be, or fatigue, excuse me, is going to be a factor here. Because obviously Gallen has had to pitch a bit more than Eovaldi, and the Diamondbacks have just asked more out of Gallen. They shortened up their rotation there at the end of the the end of the season there, and kind of had him and Merrill Kelly pitching more. So I mean, and we know this is the most innings he's ever gone in his entire career.
Yeah, this is the most innings Zac Gallen has ever pitched. The starting matchup does make me a little bit nervous tonight on the mound for a couple of reasons. Fatigue being one of them. Like you said, Zac has pitched the most he's ever pitched. He has gone more in the postseason than Eovaldi has, and I mean, Eovaldi's just been a workhorse. His playoff record is excellent. In 4 postseason games this October, he's yielded 2 runs or less 3 times in that amount of time. So it's a little dicey out there. We all know that Zac kind of has been struggling on the road as of late as well. So I think the matchup
forever, it seems like.
Yeah, the matchup on the mound does make me a little bit nervous, but if there's a game to answer back for Zac Gallen, it's definitely going to be this one.
Answer back Gallen. And then, the last time that we saw Nathan Eovaldi in the World Series, he was winning a World Series with the Boston Red Sox in 2018, 6 innings in that 18-inning classic that we had there, and really kind of earned his nickname of Big Game Nate, because he's been doing that. And so, this entire postseason, it seems as if we know when the Diamondbacks are going to be locked in or when they have to win, because if they don't, it makes it harder later on. I don't know what to expect. I don't know which games they're going to win, which games they're not.
No,
I don't know if we're going to get into predictions, but I think Diamondbacks are going to take this in 7. Which 4 are they going to win?
Who knows?
That I have no idea.
Who knows? And I
have no idea.
The question that's obviously been asked is, do they need to win one of these games in Texas?
Yes.
No?
I think so.
Well,
Maybe?
I mean, honestly.
I think so.
And maybe the only reason I feel that way is because of what we just saw in the series against Phillies, right? Like, first of all, I don't think that shed that the Rangers play in out in the middle of nowhere in Arlington is going to be nearly the environment that Citizens Bank Park was. Like, the Diamondbacks are like, they're calloused. they are numb to that kind of environment, and now they're going to be going into like a less hostile environment. So I don't know. I'm sure the Rangers fans are going to bring it. So I don't want to be like one of those guys that's like, oh, your fans suck compared to these other fans.
Hey, first World Series with 2 retractable roofs.
Oh, that's
how
fun.
about that
there
one?
How about, there's another one.
That one wasn't on the, I didn't write that down. I read that somewhere. No, but here's the other thing too to consider is that the Rangers, 8 of their 9 wins came on the road.
Yeah, I was going to say the Rangers only played 4 playoff games at home, and they're 1-3. So I think the D-backs winning and capitalizing on them not being good at home is huge. Like they need to win in Arlington.
Well, and I mean, it obviously it's going to be a big thing if they're able to steal even one of these games and then come back here and play 3 games at Chase Field, because I feel like the fans here have been providing us.
I want them to win in 5.
That would be so great.
Bad.
Oh, winning in 5 would be so
great.
great.
Win in 5.
Big love to Alucard with the super chat. He said, just a reminder that in 2001, Randy Johnson deleted a bird from existence and George W. Bush throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We talked about all of this. Fast forward 2023, Gal did the same thing and Bush throwing out the first pitch.
Alucard,
here
nice,
we come.
Yes.
Ring number 2.
$50, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And of course, while you're here, make sure to check out all of the stuff we have to offer. We appreciate you being here in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of the wonderful shows that we have go live. Watch the ASU podcast, by the way. Totri's slowly losing his mind, I think, over there. So that's it's a fun ride into madness with him. I just saw it. Was that Gabby peeking out at the top over there? We gotta get drop a like. Drop a like.
He was peeking.
He was seeing if he could come in first, and then he came in. We love you for
getting ready for
game, dude.
Of course, that's such a Gabby thing to do. Not be rude, just check first before he just runs in the studio and asks everybody to drop a like. Make sure you do that. Of course, make sure you're subscribed to all that stuff. If you're listening on the audio podcasting side, make sure to subscribe there. Leave us a review, even if you want to berate me like somebody did for being too drunk during Game 6, which is fair, please leave us a review, and we always appreciate that feedback. I'll take that into consideration and drink less beers in non-clinching games for
Derek
the Arizona
was so drunk
Diamondbacks.
he didn't even realize it was Game 7, I guess.
That was actually
His
his complaint was about Game 6, to be honest. He did not like that I drank 3 beers out of the beer bat for Game 6, and that maybe 3 beers was too many. Maybe I should have just done 1. But
what were his thoughts on the Game 7 show then?
Ooh, I don't know. It might have caused him to unsubscribe, depending on his thoughts on my nipples.
Really
But
want to know what you thought
anyway,
about the Game 8.
yeah.
Look, the best part about this World Series too, for anyone that like doesn't know the names, like there are not a ton of like big name guys. In fact, probably the biggest name that's going to be on the field is a guy you probably have the least confidence about and really doesn't have that swagger right now in Game 3 starter Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll talk about how everybody seems to prefer Brandon Pfaadt on the bump over a future Hall of Famer Max Scherzer in Game 3. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But the young guys are really what the series I feel like is all about.
It's all about it.
Evan Carter batting 3rd for the Rangers tonight, second youngest number 3 hitter in World Series history, and Gabby Moreno's only 23 years old himself. So I'm assuming that combined,
they're the youngest
44
combination.
Yes,
has to be.
huge.
That's
and
crazy.
Moreno behind the plate as a catcher at 23 years and so however many days. You know, one of the youngest catchers to be behind the plate since Buster Posey, who could be a future Hall of Famer. Didn't have the longevity, but did it and won a couple World Series with the Giants. You like those comparisons if you're a Diamondbacks fan.
Yeah. Make sure to grab yourself the PHNX shirt from the PHNX locker.com, and also grab yourself a diehard membership. If you are a diehard, you get 20% off all future purchases. Of course, if you are not one, get one today and you'll get a free t-shirt like this We Are Fucking Dangerous shirt, and so much more. There's a brand new Snakes of Chaos shirt coming to the locker for you guys. That's a little preview for you to hold out on there. But of course, get that diehard membership today if you don't have one, and you will get a shirt for free. Speaking of the experience, speaking of everything going on with this World Series, a big part of this is obviously Torey Lovullo versus Bruce Bochy in the managing matchup. And obviously experience is a big factor here, with Bochy having been here quite a lot.
3 World Series rings is nothing to shake a finger at. 4 World Series appearances.
4 appearances. Wow. And then you have obviously Torey Lovullo, who literally prior to this postseason
never
run,
done this.
he has a handful.
He has never done this before.
Games,
but fun fact, Torey has the advantage all time against games managed against Bochy.
He does.
33 and 28.
Yeah.
So
and you have that factor. I still love that that his first game as a manager was against Bochy, and here they are meeting in the World Series, and that the D-backs won that in a walk-off by hitting that off Mark Melanson. But that 33 and 28 record is something. Of course, it's just like the stats we showed for the regular season. None of this matters now. But what does matter is Bochy's experience as being here before, because he knows what it takes to win.
Absolutely.
I do feel like we've seen Lovullo manage very well when it comes to that, doing what it takes to win. And obviously a big part of that is like, he has this, like, it's almost like standing there, you know, with the Monstars behind you, right? And you know, he has that bullpen behind him that somehow just pumps him up and makes him feel so confident about being like, yeah, you know what? You've gone 4 2/3. I think the pen's got it from here, right? That is not something that Torey Lovullo probably could have ever imagined really doing early on in the season when they struggled to step up in big moments.
They're legit. There's plenty of people that look and go, I don't know if you can trust them, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Since September 5th in 35 games, 2.31 ERA.
It's incredible
for that bullpen.
Incredible.
And a lot of that is in the postseason. So I think just because you might not know Kevin Ginkel, you say, oh, wasn't he sent down at some point in the year? Yeah, he was. Yeah. As was Brendan Pfaadt.
What about Ryan Thompson? I heard that guy was DFA'd by the Rays. Those are the guys doing it. Ryan Thompson, Kevin Ginkel, and of course, jump around for Paul Sewald.
The savior.
Pope Paul the Ninth.
Mr. I can't see you closer,
patron saint of high leverage innings, but that's what Torey Lovullo has to manage tonight. So of course we are excited. We are not very far away from first pitch. So I do want to give you guys this, because this has been very important so far during this postseason run, and it's time to go over Derek's betting line to curse the opposing team. Let's take a look at it if we could, Damon, please. Here are Derek's picks for tonight. Rangers win. Of course, I'm taking them. And that might not even be that dumb of a bet, because, of course, this is game 1. I think they're going to be pumped. It's going to be difficult for the Diamondbacks to go out there against Nathan Eovaldi, I think. I'm taking the over on runs, because I think there's going to be a lot of runs scored in this game. I'm taking Eovaldi to get 3 strikeouts plus. I'm taking Garcia to get a home run. Let's curse his ass. And of course, because it's just been working, Ketel Marte is going to continue his hitting streak. And I threw that one player
reverse
hit on there.
Reverse jinx.
Yeah, reverse jinx. But yeah,
I love it.
That's what we're doing with this one right now. But yeah, man,
I'm down for it.
I'll tell you could probably do a better job of making money. But as I've said in the past, that is absolutely worth my $5 right there to curse the opposing team. So hopefully that keeps working. But
everyone, like Derek's betting against us. All of the people on the broadcast pick the Rangers. Like, keep picking against us, please. It is working for us. We will be the underdogs any day of the week because we live to show up and prove you wrong, and that's what's going to happen. So keep betting against the Diamondbacks, please.
I'll tell you this much. If the Diamondbacks need bulletin board material, what they could do is look back at that series they played against the Rangers when they really smacked the Diamondbacks around, right? Especially, like you said, Brandon Pfaadt in his debut. There's a lot there to look at then and say, look at how far we've come since this moment.
So far.
I remember when they played them, it was literally like we were doing well. Yeah. We believed in them. We're like, man, let's see how they do against this good Rangers team because they're super hot right now. And they just smacked our ass back down to earth. Like, bah, you ain't nothing, you know? And so, like, then there were a lot of series like that against potential playoff contending teams that made you feel like this Diamondbacks team was not on that same level. But I think playing those high leverage games, those must-win games for 2 freaking straight months just absolutely transformed this team.
Yeah, listen to me, you guys. I'm going to get on my soapbox for 2 seconds and
Please
I'm getting off, I
it.
promise. But everyone's in my DM saying, fire us up, Mac. This is a team of destiny. Listen to me. This is going to be a series to watch. Both of these teams experienced 100 lost seasons just 2 years ago. They are teams that stumbled after really dominant starts in the regular season. They, at one point, both lost 9 straight games. One of them backed into the playoffs and the other lost their division on the last day of the year. One of them discarded their highest paid player and the other lost their best pitcher in April. One team has never won a World Series and the other team has defied all expectations. They've proved every single doubter wrong. They made it here when nobody said that they would. This is the year of the underdog. All you big market teams can suck it because the D-backs and the Rangers are here to show you that baseball is for everyone and this series is about to be electric. And you know what? If you're not watching, shame on you because this series is gonna rock. This is what fairy tales are made of. Tune in and let's freaking go Diamondbacks. Snakes all day, every day.
Snakes alive. I do want to add on to that and just say, I do not understand the idea of this not being an exciting series. These are the 2 up-and-coming teams. They both have young stars that are going to be stars.
This is the future of baseball.
You are
watching the future of baseball
right now. Do you really want to see the goddamn Astros and the Dodgers again?
No.
Does anybody want to see that? Like, I don't understand how that could be more exciting. Why? Just because those are the teams that they want to see there because they think they belong? Like,
just for casual fans.
It's just wild.
Yeah,
I want to watch Corbin Carroll. I want to watch Josh Young. I want to watch Evan Carter. I want to watch Geraldo Perdomo. I want to watch Gabby Moreno. I want to see anyone else.
I have even been a casual fan of other sports at times where it wasn't the big teams that have done it before that allured me.
Sure.
It was like the Tennessee Titans run that year that they made it to the Super Bowl. It was
the story
like
how they got there that's so compelling as it was. Like, I'm not familiar with these players. Actually, that's okay. I want to get to know what their stories were like, their trials and their tribulations. And for 2 teams, as you pointed out, Makayla, that lost 100 games 2 years ago, you go, wow, that's a journey. I want to learn more about those teams. And so you're going to have hopefully 7 games to learn more about that. You're going to get even more invested. And I don't think that the ratings are going to take the hit that everyone's
I don't think so.
In this year in which attendance was at an all-time high, games are quicker.
Can we talk about all these Twitter fucking dorks that want to talk about TV ratings like they'll see a penny of it?
That is the people's producer, Damon Dog. You can follow him on Twitter at Damon Dog.
Who cares about the ratings?
DAWG. We don't give a shit about ratings. We want to watch baseball. We're going to go watch it right now because it is about to start. Make sure to follow us all on Twitter. I'm at Cap_caveman with a K. She is at Makayla E. Perkins. He is at Patrick D. Lyons. Again, Damon Dog. We are Damon's Dogs. He is at DAWG, by the way, on Twitter. Our show's at PHNX_DBacks. But of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We love you guys. We appreciate you for stopping by. Go Snakes. Let's go watch them win a World Series. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you get to watch your team in the goddamn World Series.
All city like the mayor.